Joining us now, former Utah Congressman, Fox News contributor Jason Chaffetz. I was sitting here, Jason, talking to Guy Benson about this, and I said, why did Barack Obama want to make Iran the Middle East hegemon when every Middle Eastern nation, save for maybe Iraq, has come out and denounced Iran's retaliatory strike on our base and Qatar?
Yeah, look, they're still trying to figure out this new paradigm shift, and I think that you got to give them a little bit of room to breathe. I'm not suggesting that we do anything other than support the United States of America, but let's understand that they thought that Iran was the big bully on the block, and I think that the United States and certainly Israel as well have demonstrated that there's going to be a little bit of a new order here, and it's going to provide peace, it's going to provide prosperity, and I think all of those countries are secretly applauding it, whether they get on board with it publicly or not.
You know, Jason, watching these retaliatory strikes today, if you can call them that, none of them succeeded. They were all intercepted. One landed harmlessly. This was telegraphed, reportedly, by the regime, by the Iranians, to the United States through the Qataris. They wanted this to fail. They wanted to put on a show, say, look, you know, we're saving some face, but we don't want to actually kill anyone, least of all Americans. That is a very interesting move by Iran. Could this be a climb down?
Yeah, I think it's a smart move by Iran, and hats off and applause to President Trump. Peace through strength is real, and he showed that he's willing to pull the trigger and take out the nuclear threat. I thought it was interesting, and the president praised Iran and thanked him that way and saying, let's make sure there's no loss of life, because if you do start killing Americans, we can obliterate your country from top to bottom. And that message, we've spoken the language of the supreme leader, and it's working. And, you know, it's not done yet. You worry about sleeper cells here at home, across Europe, other places where Americans can be targeted. But at least initially to forewarn that this is coming, I think is actually a gesture that we should take welcomingly and be very grateful for it.
And just in May, Jason, President Trump was at this very air base, the Al Udeid air base in Qatar, on his trip to the Middle East. And it seemed like the regime media just read the trip wrong completely, because he did not, Mr. Trump, did not meet with Benjamin Netanyahu when he was on that trip, but he was building support among other Middle Eastern allies on that trip. And when the rubber met the road, we are standing by our closest ally in the region, and that is Israel. And what Israel was able to do via its air forces to Iran is just astonishing. And we stood up and helped, you know, carry us the last 10% of the way.
Dagan, you're absolutely right. I've been to that Air Force base as well. It's a major facility, so important and vital to the United States in their support efforts there in the Persian Gulf, Strait of Hormuz, and just our troops in general in that area. Look, the president has played this hand perfectly. He's given a master class on and being a very tempered approach. You know, he always got accused of wanting to start World War III, and he was going to do this and he was going to do that. That's not the approach. But I think Donald Trump realized, as the president of the United States, he could not allow this clear and present danger of the development of a nuclear bomb to be used against the United States of America. And better to take it out. You got to listen to what the regime has been saying for 40 years. And I don't think the president necessarily wanted to do this, but I'm proud of the fact that he did do it, because I think the world is a safer place.
How many Americans have been injured and died because of Iran over the last 45 years? And then also, if not now, then when? Jason Chaffetz, thank you so much. Great to see you, sir.
Thank you.